Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of KTN Live at 1 this Sunday, the 14th of July 2013. My name is Betty Kialo. Now, earlier today, the Kenya National Union of Teachers' top decision-making organ, the National Executive Council, sought divine intervention as the NEC went into a meeting to deliberate on the way forward over the teachers' strike. The union leaders met with the religious leaders who prevailed upon them to put the interest of the country first in their latest quest for better pay.
As they go into war, and of course when you go into war, it's with a view to winning. Nobody will attempt to fight anything with a view to losing. And in the situations where generals see that they win the war and that they will win the war, they normally stop and say, let us retreat. We are confident we will win, but let us retreat and see the probability of this win. If you call off the strike, it's not a defeat on your part.
So we were telling our chairman, our chair and our leaders, can we look with compassion on these children? Just like our Lord Jesus did. He had compassion over the children. That's why how we come to you. We really don't know what's in the pocket from the government side, but we shall continue to work with you.
Still on the strike, and teachers in Garissa County now say that recent remarks by President Uhuru Kenyatta on the ongoing teachers' strike showed that the president is not fully informed about the strike. They maintain that they want President Uhuru Kenyatta to make sure that he understands what exactly they want. Now, they were speaking in regard to the Editors Guild, which was held on Friday, saying that the president's remarks were inaccurate, outrageous and disdainful. The teachers led by the Garissa NAT chairman Ibrahim Atosh said they deserve more appreciation and respect. The county executive secretary of Garissa, Swale Mohammed, dismissed the president's excuse that the burden of the 1997 deal did not rest with his administration.
County ya Garissa, leo tumekutana hapa kuonyesha ushujaa wetu kwa viongozi wa serikali hii ambayo hawana shikio wala ndewa.
I think as teachers of this nation we deserve better comments and remarks from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of this nation.
Away from matters education, in more than 20 years after they were evicted from their homes during the Molo ethnic clashes, more than 1,000 victims are still landless and living in poverty. And as Chair Menza reports, even though the government has for many years promised to resettle them, many of them are still waiting for compensation and justice.
They've been displaced for years, and their hopes of owning land now seems a distant dream, with most of them residing in slums in Turi, Kasarani, Mwatu and Elbagon. In the wake of the 1992 Molo land clashes, James Oirere Richard moved to Molo town, which he says was a bit safe. He now lives in this shanty house with his wife and 6 children.
Nilikuwa nafuga ng'ombe zangu na nilikuwa napeleka maziwa KCC. Kila siku tulikuwa tunapeleka kitu kama lita 40.
For now, James says he works as a casual laborer in farms, a job that he says is not promising and is only paid 120 shillings per day.
Na nilikuwa mkulima hata wa viazi wa pareto. Na hiyo vitu tangu siku hiyo mimi sijawahi kulikafa mpaka wa leo.
And so is Mary Wamboi Kariuki, sharing the same predicament. She says she's been forced to move from one house to another due to rent hikes, this being her 4th residence, housing 6 people.
Huwa hata ninasaidiwa, iko shosho mwingine alikuwa ananisaidia wakati mwingine mahali ya kukaa miaka 3.
Mary now farms on a small rented land in Turi, but she says sometimes she reaps nothing owing to the poor methods of farming she applies.
Na ukiwacha hiyo shamba utapata mtu mwingine ya kukukodesa juu watu ni wengi wale wakibisi wanajaa hapa.
A few months after the 1992 victims were displaced, the victims say they formed a group that through its leaders has for a long time fought for their justice.
Tumefuata, hakuna ofisi ambayo hatujaenda. Kila ofisi tumekanyaga na tunaambiwa ongoja.
In June 2006, however, their hopes were raised when the then Finance Minister Amos Kimunya announced that the government had factored in 400 million shillings to purchase land for their resettlement. But their hopes were dashed when the 1,500 acres of land in Molo, bought from the late Defense Minister Mjenga Karume, was used to resettle other people.
Tulipofika kwa hiyo shamba wa Karume wakati wa kugawanywa hivi, tulisimamishwa na askari wa AP, tukaambiwa hatupiti. Yule mtu anapita ni mtu mwenye ana barua ya kukondeshwa sha. Mtu mmoja nilistuka, alikuwa tajiri mkubwa mmoja wa Moro.
For now, the officials have in their possession documents showing their more than 20-year-old struggle for justice and their plight.
Serikali hawezi kukumbuka watu wale wanaita tu tabu ile iko naye.
Tupewa tu mahali ya kukaa. Hata igarau hata watoto wetu waonage wanaenda nyumbani kwao na ni wana Kenya.
The victims recall filing a case in 2006 to compel the government to resettle them. But until now, they say justice has never been served.
Moving on to matters religion, and the renewed Universal Church continues to draw attention over its stance of letting its former Roman Catholic priests marry. 15 priests of the splinter group were made cardinals at the renewed Universal Church in Ruringu Stadium in Nyeri County. The bishops who conducted the ceremony claimed that numbers of congregants affiliated to the church have continued to soar since the inception of the Reformist Church.
The renewed Universal Church continues to stir controversy. The splinter group of the Catholic Church incardinated 15 priests, continuing to stoke fire in the already heated debate over the splinter church allowing priests within its ranks to marry, yet still associating itself with the Mother Catholic Church that does not allow its priests to marry.
The Bible says that, for example, Adam was not meant to be alone, and Eve was created to help her in life. So what is the controversy when we say that our priests should be married?
Bishops of the renewed Universal Church who conducted the incardination ceremony at Ruringu Stadium in Nyeri hinted at the possibility of having an African Pope in future, though they would likely give him another name other than Pope.
To decide with our reformist spirit to have our own Pope, because we want Africanized Christians and not Christianized Africans.
They expressed doubt of an African ever becoming Pope of the Roman Catholic Church.
An African Pope would be alleged to have. It's alleged. These are just stories. These are myths. Because first of all, after having been in Europe for about 8 years, I know how they take Africans.
We are going to sit down and maybe elect our own center of power, that we call it the Pope, or maybe another title. We may not use that title, but we may use another title, which is preferable for us.
According to them, membership of the Reformist Church has soared because its leadership is easily accessible to the public.
We are Catholics, we are not Romans. That's the only the only difference, the controversy, as someone was asking. We are not Romans. Our decrees are not from Rome, but they are from what comes from love and from the Bible itself.
Njogu has been a priest for 24 years before breaking away from the main church, said the celibacy principle had failed in the church and it is time much needed reforms were undertaken.
But what we are saying is it's the right time that Africans think of their own church and their own interpretation of the Bible.
Carol Derry for KTN in Nyeri.
Political leaders from Bungoma County have challenged the government to give out a full report on police investigations into rampant insecurity and killings in Western Kenya. Now, the leaders want the government to give their findings of the recent killings and what actions have been taken to curb future incidents.
Speaking at a funeral service for former town clerk George Masinde, who was murdered in his home at Nalondo village in Bungoma County last week, the leaders regretted that the government has remained quiet over the killings in Bungoma County that left several dead and others injured.
Tukae pamoja tuulize serikali, Muluya hajajulikana kuwa mtu wa kukatakata watu. Ni nini inafanyika? Watu wetu wanafariki kila siku.
The leaders challenged the government to give out a full report on police investigations into insecurity and killings, noting that the media exposed criminal gangs in the area, yet the police have not given any reports over the gangs.
Na ukiuliza polisi, they have the quickest exit route. Wanasema hii ni siasa. That is the quickest exit route they have. Where they can't answer any questions, ni siasa. Where they can't explain, ni siasa. Where they can't arrest, ni siasa. Our soldiers, please, for heaven's sake, take your work seriously. Na vijana wetu ama leaders hapa Bungoma, jambo ambalo nataka kuelezea ni moja. Msipokuwa pamoja na tuweke tena watu Western pamoja, kazi yetu itakuwa ngumu.
The leaders did not evade the controversial matter of alleged drug baron Nigerian national Anthony Chinedu and how his alleged accomplice may have sneaked back to the country despite having been deported to Nigeria.
We want to tell the president kwamba kikulacho kiko nguoni mwako. Wale watu ambao wanafanya biashara na Chinedu ndio wale ambao wameingiza Chinedu back to Kenya so that their business can continue.
Mimi nimekuwa nikisimama mbele nikisema I would like our people to pull together. And I still maintain I want our people to pull together.
The leaders vowed to remain united and support their own in preparation for the 2017 general election.
The looming onslaught by members of the National Assembly and the Senate is taking shape, with MPs already working on how to clip the governor's powers. Kandara MP Muthoni Wahome disclosed a move by parliamentarians to draft a bill that seeks to restrict governors from using the national flag on their vehicles and only use county flags like mayors so as to differentiate between county and national government. Her sentiments have, however, been brushed off by Meru County Governor Peter Muya, who says MPs too should know their place now according to the new constitution.
We all supported governance, we supported devolution because we wanted delivery of services up to the grassroots. But what we have now seen actually, for me, is raising certain critical fears that the governors have lost direction. I think that their priorities are wrong. And they need to refocus. We are coming up with a law and we are recommending a flag for governors for their counties, not the national flag. And I can assure you that will be passed by this parliament.
As Mira farmers in Meru County debate on their next move following the impending ban on the product by the United Kingdom, the county leaders seem to have a plan to save their livelihoods. Speaking at a church service in Meru Governor Peter Moya said they will present a petition to the British High Commissioner this week opposing the ban whilst exploring other markets for the locals. Moya says the ban of the Mira in the United Kingdom and earlier in the Netherlands is in the bad taste and would affect the lives of many Mira farmers in the county.
Vizuri serikali ya Uingereza ikichukua hatua fulani iwe inafikiria kuhusu huo uhusiano wa miaka mingi. Tunafanya biashara nao, sisi ununua vitu kutoka huko. Kwa hivyo wananchi wa Uingereza upata pesa kutokana na Wakenya, kwa sababu sisi ununua vitu yao. Ni vizuri wao wanafikiria wakifungia zizi na serikali ya kwetu ikifikiria kufunga vitu yao utakuaje.
Proprietors of the well-known Maralal Safari Lodge in Samburu have been evicted from the premises, and the lodge could now be auctioned by the Samburu County government. The Samburu County legal advisor, John Letangol, said the eviction and impending auction come come, the county governor Moses Lenkulal filed a case in court over an outstanding rent of 9 million shillings that had accumulated for the last 13 years. In response, the court ordered that the Samburu County government forcefully take over the property of the lodge and hold the premises as a property of the county. Although the debt is about 9 million shillings, an auctioneer, John Muthengunjiri, estimated the value of the property to 2.5 million shillings only. The governor could go back to court to seek for the recovery of the rest of the money allegedly owed to the county.
The court has made a decision, and we are evicting them, and we also have to attach some of these properties to recover the rent. And we are actually enforcing the court order through our auctioneers.
Hundreds of mourners gathered at the burial of the late Jonathan Welengai Masinde, former and first MP for Lurambi and a one-time Assistant Minister for Power and Communications. In a speech read on behalf of retired President Daniel Arap Moi by KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli in Luandeti village, Moi said that Welengai was a close friend and a political colleague, and he will be remembered for his duty to the nation in his tenure as a legislator in 1992. Moi noted that his service and dedication to the nation was immense and will be greatly missed after his departure. Welengai served as Organizing Secretary of KADU, Coast Branch 1962, and Chairman of Kenya Sugar Authority and Director in the ICDC Board. Jonathan Welengai Masinde died on 4th of July this year, aged 78 years.
I've lost a friend and a political colleague and Wafula Wabuge to ensure that all Kenyans enjoyed the fruits of emancipation from colonialism. During this time of mourning, I offer my sincere condolence to the bereaved family and the people of Lugari in general.
And that's where we wind up this edition of KTN Live at 1. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Betty Callow.